Hey everybody, it's Bruce Kulick here.
Hey, it's Tommy Thayer from KISS, and you are watching Tales of a KISS Geek with Glenn Walker. How about that?
Hey KISS Army, and welcome to Tales of a KISS Geek. So, I need to review the KISS A&E KISSTORY Biography. So, my plan was that I would watch it at 2 AM over here in Ireland, and it was going to finish at 4 AM. So, part 1 started on the 27th of June. So, I'm super excited for this one. It's June 27th. Right now, it's 11:30 over here in Ireland, and I'm pumped to watch the KISSTORY A&E Biography at 2 in the morning until 4. So part 1 is being shown today. I'm really excited. I'm gonna get ready the only way I know how. And I'll see you guys at 2 AM. I made some nice food, I made a night of it, and I just was waiting to hear this story, and I just couldn't wait. Like, I heard lots of stories of unseen footage we were finally going to see, and I was just overall looking forward to seeing what was going to be included and what was going to be kind of disregarded. And of course there were going to be things that were disregarded because how long are they talking about and how long do they have? It's kind of like the old joke, okay, well, how long have you got? Like, if they're going to talk about 74 to 2021, there's of course going to be stuff that gets cut out. 5 minutes to go until the part 1 of KISSTORY. I am so pumped to see this. I really cannot wait. So my plan went ahead. I got everything ready to watch it. I got into my comfort zone, and I was just really looking forward to it. And I was watching, for the first time in my life, TV in the United States live. So that was pretty cool. And I sat through the ads and waited for it to come on, and the stream went down. And I was waiting, still nothing. So I refreshed it. Okay, still nothing. And actually when I refreshed it, it would show me what I saw last and then stop at the exact moment that it stopped at, like 5 minutes prior. So I know in my head that this biography is going on right now, and I'm scrambling, refreshing, but I finally refreshed and I got it. And I was watching, it was right at the start of they were doing like the end of the road rehearsals. So I took it as, okay, they're doing a kind of, now here's where we are, but let's go back. So I knew I was somewhere around the start, so fine, no worries. It happens with streams. So I watched it. I really thought it was very well balanced between Paul and Jean talking, them being very candid and open, and the Ace and Peter interview clips that they put together. I thought it was very well balanced, and I was quite happy. So far we've had Jean and Paul return back to Electric Lady Studios, where they did the Wicked Lester album, and they've just spoken about Wicked Lester and how the band broke up basically. So we're on the ad break right now, and when we come back, I assume we're going into them putting KISS together and advertising we need a drummer. And that's where I reckon we're going to see the supposed Peter footage of him playing in 66 with the band. So I'm really looking forward to this. Here we go, we're back. What do I have to say that's any kind of negative or any critique? Bob Kulick wasn't mentioned at all. And in my opinion, he was a huge part that should have been mentioned. Because if there was no Bob Kulick, there would have been no Bruce Kulick. because we know how that story goes. So Bob Kulick really, in my opinion anyway, should have been mentioned. I think that goes without saying. And I think for a lot of people it could be an, oh yeah, that's right, now that I look back. Because they did kind of fluidly go over it. So they didn't really get into details of like Rock and Roll Over, Love Gun. Okay, no worries. How many albums are there with Ace and Peter to talk about? Like, that's fair enough. I can understand that. I love Love Gun and Rock and Roll Over, but you have a whole entire history to talk about. I can give them a pass on that. I loved the footage that we saw. Peter playing in the club before Kiss in the 60s. We even had like rare photos we never saw before. We had photos I never saw, like there was also video of them like without makeup. I think they were on like an airplane, and then there was like it was just so cool. We saw Peter getting ready to sing Beth in the vocal booth, and that was just stuff we had never seen. So that was really exciting. Just to give my take on the whole experience, not just the biography but the whole streaming experience. You guys in the States have a lot of ads. Holy crap. During that whole thing, I think there was 6 or 7 ads. And yeah, I kind of took it as, okay, when the ad break comes, or when maybe 2 ad breaks come, I can go and use the toilet. But no, I was whizzing until I was all out of whiz, let me tell you. So, I really enjoyed it, and I had a blast. I was, like, they had me. They were talking about Destroyer, and they just had me. I was hooked, and I was waiting for the next thing. Peter was talking about like the overusage of substances behind the scenes during Destroyer, and then all of a sudden it cut, and I never got to see the rest of it until after I saw the rest of it, and I actually saw it the day after, or the day or 2 after. So that was fine. I got to see like the rest of that. But I made a plan. I went to bed and I made a plan. Okay, I'm doing the exact same thing tomorrow for part 2. I did the exact same thing. I had a busy day that day, so I went about my business and I enjoyed the day. But I had it in my head, okay, get back home, get a few hours sleep because it starts at 2, so you're already tired. I was tired at like 8 p.m. So get home, get a few hours sleep, set an alarm, get up and watch it. So that's exactly what I did. Only I got up and my brain just went, hey, go to sleep. You know when you're like Frankenstein and you're just like, yeah, this is not happening. I do not want it. I can watch this at any time. Right now I need sleep. So I went to bed and I slept for another like 12 hours. So I obviously needed to sleep. So thanks to a lot of friends out there, I got the second part. So I watched the second part the next day, and maybe you guys will be surprised, but I really preferred the second part over the first part. Maybe it was a biased opinion because it was kind of like there was stuff in there that I didn't know before because I was a Kiss fan, and we've heard all the Wicked Lester stuff and you know like Eddie Kramer, Bob Ezra and all of that. But there was a lot of stuff that they got into, like with even photos that we've never seen. Vinnie Vincent. There was cool photos of like, we saw, I believe, Eric Carr at the Palladium show, which was just so cool, like, stuff like that. But there were things they didn't bring up. I felt that Bruce Kulick and Eric Singer didn't talk as much as they should have about their eras. And I mean about Revenge, Carnival of Souls, because they were such drastic changes that they needed to be addressed. It wasn't enough to just say, oh yeah, we had Eric Singer and Bruce. Okay, next thing. Then we had, no, you need to touch on, this is what it sounded like. Bruce Kulick actually sang on a Kiss song called I Walk Alone. Things like that I think needed to be addressed. But my huge gripe with this biography, and it actually, when this happened, it made me pause it and just kind of, wait, hold on. It was one of those. So they built up from 1973, and actually even before then, talking about Wicked Lester and all of that. They built up from then through the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, 2000s, they got into when Tommy and Eric Singer are in the lineup. And not one time did they mention they recorded an album, let alone 2 albums, or if you want to be actually spot on with that one, they recorded 3 albums with Tommy and Eric Singer in that lineup. They recorded Sonic Boom, Monster, and the very first one they recorded before Sonic Boom was, try and pronounce it, I can't, but we know it as Kiss Classics. That was included with Sonic Boom when they re-recorded those kind of 70s and some of the 80s Kiss songs. None of that. So we literally went, if you watch it, we went from 2004, now it's Tommy and Eric. Okay, cool. So now we're getting ready to say goodbye to the fans on the farewell tour on the end of the road. And I'm watching it going, hold on, you just skipped over my Kiss. So I watched this and it was the equivalent of, for me personally, it was the equivalent of you watching it and they just start at 1983 when they take off the makeup. And you're watching it going, hold on, you didn't talk about my 70s era. When they did Alive 2, they did Love Gun, Hotter Than Hell. That's what it felt like for me. It was a huge slap in the face. There were 2 albums that they didn't even talk about. So, according to this biography, if you swear by this biography as your go-to about all things Kiss, Kiss's latest album to date is Psycho Circus. There's never been an album released after Psycho Circus. How ridiculous is that? That is my huge gripe with this, and it actually made me pause it. And I was pretty angry, I must admit, because they skipped over Sonic Boom and Monster. How could you do that? They're 2 very important albums. Maybe they're not liked by a lot of fans, maybe they are. It doesn't matter. Are they important to the story? Did they happen? Yeah, of course. They spoke about Animalize and they spoke about The Elder much more than they spoke about their 2 very last albums that they ever will release. How does that make any sense? But look, all that aside, I really had a great time watching this. I really enjoyed this way more than I liked. It's one of the 2, Extreme Close-Up or Kiss Confidential. One of them's the show and one of them's the kind of documentary. I enjoyed this way more. I felt this was way more balanced. We also had the cool footage of Gene and Paul in Paul's house, and it was just a casual kind of 2 guys sitting at a bar. It was that kind of vibe, like, and it was kind of just natural, and I really just enjoyed it. So, look, the negatives aside, we got a new Kiss thing, and we can't complain. We're getting new stuff. So, it's turning out to be a pretty cool year for Kiss. Yeah, look, they could have skipped a lot more stuff. They could have skipped over Phantom. They could have skipped over The Elder. They could have skipped over Animalized. Things that aren't the huge needs, like Destroyer and Alive and the solo albums, things like that. So I'm happy. There's always going to be things we can poke holes in, remember that. So me saying this right now, you probably have different holes to poke. So yeah, what more can I say? So I thoroughly enjoyed this. There are the negatives, but the positives for me totally outweigh the negatives. I am so happy, and it was so cool hearing Tommy express his opinions and speak his side, talk Black and Blue, all of that. Like, it was cool because you don't get to hear a lot of Tommy talking, so I was happy for that. Maybe an unpopular opinion, but I thought it would have been cool if Vinny had been involved, have him say a few words. And I think it would have been cool if Carrie Stevens had been involved, who was Eric Carr's girlfriend at the time, because she would have had a lot to say. Even Eric Carr's sister would have been cool to have on. Just someone that was representative of Eric Carr, because he can't speak, so why not have that? I also really feel they should have mentioned the passing of Mark St. John, as he was a Kiss member and part of the family. But look, it is what it is, and I hope that it stands the test of time, and I hope that it is something that gets put out into the public and doesn't remain a kind of thing that we have to search for, and it gets pulled down from YouTube and pulled from Vimeo and all of that. I hope it finds a place, or KISS even says themselves, hey, here you go, here's an official release. Fingers crossed, but I'm not holding my breath. Guys, thank you very much for watching Tales of a Kiss Geek. It is much appreciated. I hope to see you in the next one, and you have a great day.
Everybody, it's Bruce Kulick here, and you're watching Tales of a Kiss Geek.